Hello and welcome along and welcome back to No Man's Land. It is tipping it down here, although it should clear up fairly soon. A bit of a restless night last night after that howl, and I think we're going to be changing our campsite here for something a little bit less open after that. So yeah, we need to do that. We also need to start getting the wheat, or the barley actually, into the ground. So we're going to, our one field that we created today, so far, we are going to put some barley into, because whatever we do, we're going to need some straw. And if we have a look here in our calendar, we can see that we need to get the barley in during these 3 days. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our tractor, which is over here, I think, down to the shop. Grab ourselves a seeder, and we have a couple of seeder options that we can do. There we go. And get that loaded up with some seed as well. So unfortunately, we are going to have to borrow a little bit of money again. We're in a position where it's a bit of a necessity. We do have a lot of bales on the way, though, that are fermenting quite nicely. They are 42% of the way there so far. So we're going to hopefully get those sold in the near future. And we've got a lot more grass to cut. But I want to get this barley in at this point and get us a good base for this. And hopefully sort ourselves going into the next year on here. One thing I am considering doing is to skip through the winter. I think we're going to be in a position where we should be able to do that. But I'm very much thinking that might be a good way to go. We're not going to have a huge amount of stuff to do once we've got everything cut and plowed and everything. Let's pop into the shop here. And look at that. In the used vehicle sales, we actually do have a New Holland T6 available. How much is our small tractor worth? Not enough to sell it and replace it with the T6. So as tempted as I am to grab that, I'm going to leave it today. I like my New Hollands, but we're very much doing something else on here. What we do need, and it would be nice if one of these had been in here, is a seeder. And I think we're going to go for this D9 3000. It's only a 3-meter seeder, but it is an Amazon D9. It should do us fairly well for what we want to do. It's going to cost 13,500 as it is, but what else do we have on it? So we can add, wow. Yeah, we can extend how many seeds it holds. That's 1,000 liters. That's 600. I don't think we need to extend that. Tramline markers. That's pretty cool. But I'm going to leave those off for now as well. Handrail I like to have on here. Pine harrow or roller harrow. I like the roller harrow does add quite a bit. And we're not going to worry about the ridge markers right now. And then the license plate actually needs to be VF02, I think is what is on our tractor. I need to go back and check that before we go any further. But yeah, so we're looking at 15,000 for that. We are going to have to borrow a, well, if we take the handrail off, no, we're still going to have to borrow about 10,000 to get this on. So let's pop out here. We're going to double check the number plate on our tractor, which is VF02. So yeah. So we need to get that, and we need to borrow 10,000. So into here. And our loan is now up to 315, and it's getting a little bit higher than I want. But we can't really do much about that. We've got to borrow the money in order to do this and keep things going. So let's grab this, and we're not going to get the extension. We are not going to get the tramline markers. We are going to get the handrail. We are going to upgrade to the roller harrow. We're not going to get the ridge marker and the number plate. We want to put the tractor number plate on it. And okay, that. Perfect. So we will go with that. And buy that, yes, because we're going to be doing a lot of seeding over the coming weeks. And then to go with that, we're going to need some seeds as well. Now, the big bags are actually a darn sight cheaper than everything else. And if I can get a big bag of seeds, that would be great. We'll probably have to pop back with the seeder. I think that's what we'll do. We'll pop back with the seeder, and then we'll go and get the front loader tool and the trailer on, and we'll bring ourselves a couple of bags of seeds back. I think we're probably going to need a couple of bags of seeds to do everything on the farm, and if not, we'll have some in reserve as well. As I said, the big bags are the cheaper way to do it, so it makes more sense. Load this up, and yeah, this should work quite well on the back of our little tractor. Should be quite a good setup, this. So having dropped our seeder off now, I'm back to come and collect a seed bag. So let's no, I just take the trailer off. Also, I worked out I don't have a bag lifter or a set of forks or anything, so we are going to need forks over time, so we'll pick some of those up as well. So I'm going to pick up a single big bag of seeds at the moment. We don't need anything more than that. We should easily be able to do one field with that. And then on the other bit, we need to do front loader tools, and we need a set of forks. I think those are the ones we're going to go with. Yep, those are the ones we have, so we'll buy a set of those as well. And at which point, I'm kind of glad that we ended up borrowing an extra 10,000 rather than an extra 5,000, because we just would not have been able to have done this on that budget. We've got 2,193 left. So we're still spending money, but we are beginning to bring money in with our grass, with the silage from that. So that's good news. I've put the weight on the back of this tractor because there's no way this tractor is picking this up without needing a weight on the back. And yeah, even now I can see the front of the tractor is dipping down, even with this massive weight that we've got on the back of it. I think this is an 1100, isn't it? No, it's not even that big, I don't think. We'll have a quick look at that in a moment. But we want to get this on our flatbed. Whether I'll use this flatbed for carting as well, I don't know. We might do. It will convert over for that, but we'd have to bring it back down here. What is this? This is a... Oh, this is an 1100 kilogram weight. So, yeah, that's good. Let's get this hooked up on the front here. This little 3709 AL Massey has done us really, really well. Great little tractor for us getting started on our farm. And we borrowed, as I was saying earlier, we borrowed, I think it's 315,000 so far. We are still well under what you would start with loan free on Start From Scratch. And we are limited to a maximum of 500,000 on that loan. So yeah, this is definitely more of a challenge than had we done a Start From Scratch start on here. We'd have been able to go much further, much quicker, had we had the money available on that. Today is going to be one of those days where I think where it just rains on and off all day. We have dry at the moment, but we do have rain forecast for later in the day, so that will start at some point. Let's touch that, unhook that, and so it's gonna get wet again. We won't be able to do any grass work today. Hopefully we'll be able to do grass work next time. We still have 2 fieldish areas that we're looking to get cut and done. And we've probably got an area around here. I mean, basically where we're looking to build the farmyard here. That area needs to be done at some point as well. And get cut. So, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to be done on here. Oh, come on. Come on. I need you to get... handlebar, that rail on there may not have been such a good idea. We've got to get this big bag up and over that. Preferably without it sliding. Okay, can I get it in from the side? Let's try from the side. That might work better. Bring it round. Yeah, this tractor is not very big. And as a result, this big bag does not want to get high enough to get into our cedar. Come on, just a little bit more. There we go. Oh, we had it. Oh, right. Yeah, it's one of those things where getting it to be in the right position is going to be a little bit tricky. Right, there we go. Right, and then lift it. Nope, it slid down again. This is where doing it on these forks is a little bit of fun. There we go. Right, we've got it kind of right on the tip. So hopefully it won't fall off onto our cedar. But it will fill it. There we go. That's got it. And full. Perfect. Back it off. And we'll just put this over on the side here. Yeah. We might be better off using something. We might be better off using something a little bit more pallety or smaller in future. That would work quite well for us. Right, bring this round and just going to drop the front off here. Like so. And the back off here. And then we'll be able to hook up to our cedar and get started. There we are. Oh, this is a great little tractor. Lots of people have suggested that I get the front 3-point for this tractor. And I don't disagree with that. I think that that's a really good idea. We could get that fitted on here quite easily. As something we can switch between that and our front loader. I don't massively need it for now. I think lots of people are going put the mower on the front, which yes, I understand that the mower we have is really a front mower. That I'm using as a rear one. There aren't any rear mowers really that work in the way that I'm looking to, which is why I haven't done that. So let's turn this on. There we go. We have selected barley. Down we go. And away we go. And look at that. Going at a really nice speed. I think we need to lower our gear a little bit though. There we go. That's working a bit better. I think I've only ever had one series where I've used smaller equipment than this. And that was when we were doing the survival experiment in FS19 on 6 Ashes. And we're just using, well, we were using some pretty small stuff on that to get us started. We will do another survival experiment. I do want to do that at some point. This wasn't the map to do it, unfortunately. Survival experiment requires that I have contracts to be able to start. If I don't have any contracts, then yeah, it's a very difficult series to do. It would have been nigh on impossible on here. This is as close to a survival experiment as we've come so far, though, in FS22. And yeah, I am enjoying the hell out of this series. I hope you guys are as well. This whole trying to build things up from a very low start is something I love doing in Farm Sim. And yeah, here it's no exception. It seems to be working fairly well for me as well. A little bit of overlap on this run by the looks of things. But that's a horrible thing. I think we ended up going a little bit skew with on the previous row. I am putting a headland in here as well. This part of the field at this end and at the other end doesn't need it. But as we get closer to the edge of the field, we're going to find that those rocks there and the trees at the other end, those are going to require us to have some headlands. So I might as well put headland in on the field anyway. Let's bring this down and check, make sure that we are on the 0 degree line. There we go. And yeah, we're gonna need to put a headland in for those parts of the field, so we might as well put them in for the whole field and then work our way around. Means that we'll either start and end at the edge of the field near the road either way, so works well for us really. And yeah, as is this little seeder. This little seeder on this little tractor is absolutely perfect. I'm so pleased that this little Amazon seeder is available, because it is just brilliant on this Massey Ferguson tractor. I didn't actually check the horsepower requirement of this seeder, and I have a big feeling that we couldn't have gone for the 4 meter because it might have required too much horsepower. I think it might have been 110 horsepower on the 4 meter. Let's just double check that. So if we go into seeders and we have a look down here, so the 3000, that has a 70 horsepower requirement. The 4000 has a 90 horsepower requirement. So yeah, we could have got the 4 meter, had this job done a little bit quicker. But in all honesty, I don't think it was necessary. This is chomping through this field quite quickly. I think by mid-afternoon on here, we're going to have this seeded. Now, as we get over to the west side of the field, yeah, it is getting a little bit tighter at the ends of the field here. So bring this up, give ourselves a little bit of headland and a little bit of space to turn around without having to go onto the rocks. And back round and line it up. And yeah, we'll be able to go round this whole field and get ourselves, there we go, nicely positioned to just go round a couple of times and fill in the gap. Should work really well for us and be really, really useful. This is actually, I've said this a couple of times before, but this is actually a really decent sized field. Should get us a nice little harvest of barley off here, something that as we go forward we'll be able to feed some chickens with, and should also give us a nice little bit of straw to do any other animals with. So it's worth having at least one arable field on here. I'm thinking of having a second large arable field out the back. We've got that very large area across the back that we could do. It's how much grass we can actually produce silage and hay from, and have useful stuff going from that, and maybe how long it is before we actually are able to get started with some cows, because that is gonna be the next problem, is getting money together for adding cows and other animals. Chickens shouldn't be too much. I think we can put a chicken pen in for about 10 to 20,000 if I remember correctly, whereas cows are going to cost us a lot more money. So we've got to watch out for that and make sure that we're in a position to be able to afford them at some point. Right, so that is the main part of the field finished. We should be able now to come around and get the headlands done. We want to try and give ourselves enough overlap that we end up with a decent, or we end up with a fairly easy to do final headland. We should be able to. I think this is definitely less than a single seeder's worth. Let's bring this around here. Yeah, that might be a little bit wider, but should be okay otherwise. Bring the seed around and Yeah. Get a nice little bit of overlap on this headland up here. And it's going to work well. We'll end up at the top corner of the field over there. But this will all be done. And then, in the near future, we need to get a set of rollers on this field, really. Get this crop rollered in. And do that way. I'm actually going to pick up and turn this corner. It's a little bit of a sharp one, and really I should pick up the implement to avoid doing any damage to it. And here comes the rain again. We are not going to be able to do any mowing today, I don't think. It's going to just be way too wet to do anything like that. So it has been good that it's held off with the rain long enough for me to get these seeds in. Has been very, very useful. We're going to have to do some more. We're going to have to do some fertilizing on here as well. I don't think, yeah, we don't have a fertilizer spreader yet. We don't have a set of rollers yet. And of course, we don't have a harvester. Although I will probably end up leasing the harvester unless we get a very cheap harvester option come up. It really, that's the thing. To own a harvester, I need to be doing more than one field's worth of crop. Otherwise, in general, it's going to be a bit of a loss to either lease or own a harvester. And there we go. There is the end of our field. Up the top here. In. And done. I'm really happy with that. That is a great little seeder. Has worked really, really well for us, and has only used 60% of the seed that we had. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. We're going to drop this seeder off now. There's actually nothing more we can do today as far as that field goes, because we don't have a set of rollers. I have a set of rollers in mind, but I don't have them yet, so I need to get that sorted. But we can do that anytime in the next 3 days. What we are going to do, because there's no way we can go mowing in this weather, we're going to go plowing. We have got a field that needs to be plowed, and it needs to get set up, so let's go do that one. Right. Don't think, no, that doesn't have a PTO on it, so that's all good. Yeah, let's go and take our little plow, and we've got our other field just the other side of the trees over here that we need to go and start setting up. Whether we put grass in here or whether we put the crop in here, either way we need to get this field plowed. Got a nice grass area here as well that we might cut and create a small field from. Basically, there's so many options on here, and I love the fact that exactly where your fields are is defined by you, and it's great for that. Right, we want to turn our plow as it should be going into the field from here. Line it up with our curve at the bottom. We want to be going nice and straight as well. And yeah, we've defined our field already pretty much by doing our ploughing. Let's get this on so it creates fields. There we go. We are not going straight, so we need to make sure that we're doing that. Our GPS would be so nice. And there we go. Away we go. We are going to kick up so many stones with this. But the stones are worth it to us. The plan I have for getting my fields established on here is all very similar. It's going to be this process of cutting it for silage, ploughing it, and then reseeding it. And that's going to be the way all... Well, there's looking like 4 fields on here at the moment. Getting them established is going to be like... It should work fairly well for us. It should give us a good base going into the first year. And 4 fields is always a good number to have. I think the ratio is going to be 3 arable fields to one grass field. Exactly which is going to be the one grass field is I'm still deciding. I'm thinking it's going to be the one over there with the trees beside it. It's a little bit of an awkward field to do as an arable field compared to our one that we've already planted, this one here, and the very large one we've got at the back. The other way to do it would be to split the large one we got at the back into 2 fields, and maybe have one of those as an arable, or as a grass field and one as an arable. Having said that, I think we're also in a position where we might be better off splitting that into 2 fields anyway. Gives us a little bit more time to work each one, and would probably work better for us. I'm going to take this back a little bit further. There we go. Happier with that. And yeah, we've got small equipment, and that is a very large area, the other side of here, for us to work with the small equipment we've got. It might be worth having it split into some smaller fields, but we'll see how we go, and we'll see how it works out. At the moment, we're creating 2 very similar sized fields, with this one and the one that we've already created the other side of our area, down by where our farmyard is. And yeah, with a lot of stones coming up on here. So yeah, buying the stoner with all of this plowing that we're going to be doing most of the time is a very good idea, especially as all of this plowing also means we won't have to deal with any weeds, which is absolutely perfect. I'd rather deal with stones that are going to make us money than weeds that are just going to cost us. It's 6 in the evening and the sun is setting, and we're now beginning to see how noticeably larger this field is than its counterpart the other side of the woods. It is, well, it is, yeah, it is larger. It is, you can see that is the case. We've got about as much space plowed on here now as we already have seeded the other side, so it's going to be about maybe a quarter larger to a third larger on this field, which is good. You know, this is a decent sized field. The one the other side of the woods, the one we were talking about making the grass field, that is it's probably going to be about 2/3 of the size of that first field. So yeah, it's a good variety of field sizes we've got here, and none of them are just straight up rectangular either. We're having to work our way around the rocks and do things around those. It is getting quite dark though, and plowing into the night is not an unusual thing on a farm. So this will get finished today, and ready to do some rock picking in the near future. I am hoping, though, that we're going to be able to get some mowing done next time, and get some more silage bales created. Keeping those silage bales coming at the moment is what's going to help us to build the farm and keep that loan as low as we can. Already 300,000 is quite a daunting task to get repaid. So yeah, we need to keep an eye on that, and hopefully we're not too far off having spent all the money that we need to spend right now to get our farm established. We may get as high as 400,000. I think we should be able to keep the budget under that, partly depending on what happens with a combine and how much it costs us to get the animals established as well. All in all, though, this is working out quite well at the moment. We've got a good sized field here. We've got a good sized field already seeded, which is both good news. We're going to get a nice set of stones off here. Whether we sell these stones or convert them to lime is going to be a big question. The lime production placeable is quite good, and I'm very, very tempted. But at the moment, we do not have any need for lime on here. We will do after a little while, but at the moment, yeah, lime is just not a concern. All of our fields have a good enough pH value to keep going. Yeah. And yeah, we're not going to go right up to that corner there. We're going to bring this across here and give ourselves just a little bit of leeway to have somewhere really to put silage bales to ferment from this area. But yeah, all in all, this field is doing us fairly well. What's worrying me at the moment is my tractor is very low on fuel. I think we may have to finish it here and just finish up next morning with this, because we need to go and refuel the tractor. So I'm going to bring this to this end of this row here and turn my tractor off. And yeah, I'm going to go get this refueled and sorted. It's getting a bit dark to really see where we're plowing at this point. So this is as good a place to end as any. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.